All right, breaking news coming in amid the war in West Asia. There's a clear impact on global exchanges. Brent crude up 26%. Japan's Nikkei 225 down around 7%. South Korea's Kospi is down 8%. And Australia's ASX 200 is down over 4%. When we talk about Indonesia's JCI, it's down 4%. Singapore's STI down 3%. US stock market futures are pointing to big declines as well. So this is the latest that we're getting right now. For more on this, we have with us Pallavi. Pallavi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Pallavi, unexpected lines really, what we're seeing right now.
Oh yes, absolutely, Haim. It was absolutely unexpected lines, especially with the turmoil taking place. And you saw those pictures, for example. Now, the Strait of Hormuz is one key area of consignment and supply coming in of oil, and it services many countries. And therefore, any kind of turmoil or uncertainty which takes place in that region has a direct impact on the economy. First of all, it hits the crude oil supplies, which also means that a shaky crude oil supply bolsters up the prices of crude oil, which has a rippling effect. The second impact, of course, of it comes on the currency, dollars, for example, gold, silver, all those prices start surging. So this is a moment of uncertainty, not just as far as the Gulf region is concerned, but many of the European economies and American economies. You know, America, of course, is trying to become increasingly self-sufficient. But the fact, Haim, is that America is also aware of the fact that they had to diversify, which is what the game is all about. There's insistence on buying Venezuelan oil, less reliance of oil from Gulf and on Iran particularly, and on Russia, is something what she wants a new world order to accept. But not every country is going to fall in line. But for American and countries in Europe who are excessively dependent on the Strait of Hormuz for their cargo supplies, and I'm not only talking about crude oil, but other essential commodities, this kind of a closure certainly is going to hit them and already has begun to hit them hard.
Right, absolutely. Pallavi, stay on with us. Of course, we're also bringing you updates from the newsroom. We have with us Siddhant here. Siddhant, very much as Pallavi was just saying, on expected lines. What can you tell us, Siddhant?
Well, that's right. So crude is 30% up. Brent crude is 26%. Heating oil 22%. Gasoline a few percent up. 14% up, if I'm not mistaken. So right now, the focus is on how to stabilize the global oil prices, the global gas prices. In fact, the prices in the United States have gone up. And yesterday, I would also like to highlight this post from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Now he's saying that under POTUS, President of the United States, we are working with the world's largest producers, consumers, and refiners to maintain stability in the world's energy markets while we eliminate threats to our safety and security. This is a shared purpose towards which we are all working. So he has to say that all countries are working together to bring down the global oil prices and to stabilize the global oil prices. But the fact is, that 6 months back, this is the same thing which India was trying to explain to the United States, that how if India buys Russian crude, then that helps the world in getting the gas at the lower rates. At that point, they did not understand. 25% additional tariffs were imposed on India. Then they claim that India has now stopped buying Russian crude. Now they are saying that we have given waivers to India to buy Russian crude. Now they are saying it's a shared purpose. So they are in a difficult spot. United States is in a difficult spot. A, domestically the prices have gone up. B, their allies are also putting pressure on them to lower the gas prices.
Right. Well, Siddhant, thank you so much for that as well. We have some more updates which are coming in at this point. Let me just go to the studio where we can bring you more updates as well. So this is the latest that we're hearing. And according to the government sources in India, we're given to understand we're still fine as far as oil is concerned. India takes 40% through the Strait of Hormuz, 25 days of reserve for crude oil and for petrol and diesel as well. So in total, we're good for 50 days. Containers, cargo reaching through other routes, and supply is being replenished. So that is what the government sources are telling us. We're good for about 40-50 days. Pallavi, you've been telling us, you've been bringing us these numbers for quite some time now as well. Pallavi, however, as Siddhant was mentioning earlier, also the flip-flop that we see from the United States pretty much appears as though Donald Trump appears to just be winging it, where all the other nations are having to, of course, change their strategies given the situation and the uncertainty that we're seeing right now.
I think it's very important to clear at this point of time. India is India. Our foreign policy, our domestic policies, or even economic policies are not going to be dictated by any country, even if it happens to be in America. And this is something which top government sources have been repeatedly telling us, that national interest is the only yardstick on the basis of which we are going to make all our decisions. When we talk about Russian oil, and when all of this hangama happened over America, so-called allowing us to buy Russian oil, government sources were very clear about the fact we've not stopped purchasing Russian oil. We are buying oil because it is coming to us as a good price. Yes, the consumption of Russian oil or its supply from there has been falling down, but that is not because of any kind of an American pressure. It's only because we did not feel the need to buy from Russia. We are moving on to other options. As situation stands now, whatever uncertainty we are seeing in the global crude oil pricing and so on and so forth, I think at this point of time the government is trying to make it repeatedly clear with 24/7 monitoring that the situation over here in the country is nothing to worry about. We are in a comfortable position.
Right.
Yes, there was a lot of politics over an increase in the LPG prices, but again government says it's increased by 110 rupees in the last 12 years, which is not a substantial increase. In terms of supply, very quickly, 25 days each of crude oil as well as of energy product, which includes petrol and diesel, is available, which is a total of 50 days, and only 40% of our supplies are coming in from Strait of Hormuz, 60% Cape of Good Hope and other areas. So we are not going to be affected.